So speaking of homegrown talent, we've got Emilio Camino, who's actually a mentor here at Capital Factory, helping young people get their ideas off the ground. So with that, I'm going to say, let's welcome Emilio Camino.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here today, and thank you for the Latinx team to put the event together. My name is Emilio Camino, as they mentioned, and what I have been doing lately is trying to figure out how I get my background and experience back to the community. I am originally from Venezuela. I have been living in the US for the last 8 years now. I live in Mexico City for about 10 years of my life. And it has been, it's interesting because when I speak Spanish in particular, it's like, Emilio, you have like a Spanish Telemundo accent. So it's not from anywhere. And that has been quite interesting progress in the last few years. So with that old background coming from Latin America, I am the older of my family. Both of my parents are from Spain, and they migrated to Venezuela during the Civil War. And education, technology, schools, high schools, that was totally unknown in my family. It was kind of a brand new thing. And when I decided to finish high school, basically, I enrolled to a university career, and it was quite interesting challenges, right? It's like, who can help me? Myself. And try to figure out many new things, being one of the few members in the family to go through the process. But I was extremely curious. I always love about learning new things, how to get exposed to new experiences, good ones, by the way. I did bungee jumping, I did rafting, many things in my life. And part of that process took me to attend one of the presentations at the university by Microsoft. And I was like, let's figure out what they are looking for. And they did like an hour presentation. I attend the presentation, and they open up a contest at the university to whoever get the first 5 certifications get a temporary position with them in Venezuela. And I was like, that sounds cool. Microsoft, come on. It sounds pretty interesting. So I open my mouth and say, yes, I want it. They give me a book. The session finished. I open the book. Oh, what a surprise. It was in English. So at the time, my English level was pretty basic. If you believe that is bad today, not even think about it at the time. So I started going through the book, and it was a pretty comprehensive, thick book. And literally, as soon as I opened it, I was like, where do I start? So I get some help and get one of those books that nobody uses anymore for translation. And word by word, I start going and taking notes on the book. It was slow, for sure. I felt that it took me forever. By the time, and that picture represents really well how it looks like. I was like, this is like 1,000 pages, and I need to go one by one. By the time I finished the book, I was translating one word per page. So it was really good. I felt really good. So I go through the process. I took I sit down on my certification test, and I pass. I was like, man, I did it like in 5 months later. So it has to be like 15 people who did it. For my surprise, I was in the first 5 on the university. So I took a part-time job on Microsoft at the time. So I started doing something that they call FAN. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but it was Fuerza de Apoyo Microsoft. It's like a team that supports Microsoft to do enablement and talk about how amazing are the products. So long story short, on certifications, I spend a lot of my time go through industry certifications. I have the honor to work for companies like Microsoft, for Cisco, for 13 years of my life. In my current position, I have been expanding a little bit out of the Cisco bubble that I love, by the way, but learning about Amazon Web Services, Aruba, and many other ones. So for me, that education and jumping into technology at the very early ages was eye-opening. I was like, this is something different, right? It's something new. And in case you're wondering, about 1991, 1992, that was when I have to take a decision about what to do with my life. Nobody had internet. So that was kind of new. And in 1992, I was having a part-time job in a kind of WordPress at the time. And I get access to a modem. In case you haven't heard that word, it used to be a little small device that you put in the wall and you connect to the phone line. So I get access to internet. I went to the capital. From there, I go to Maracay, that is a small town, like 2 hours from Caracas. And I get access to internet in my house. Don't even think about the nice web pages and the fancy images. It was a pretty basic menu, black and white, or in that case, green. But I was able to get access to data and information that was being created somewhere else in real time. Today sounds like, yeah, right, you open your mobile phone and you have it. But that time, for me, was unbelievable. And that's why I got a little bit more into the technology. And for 4 particular reasons. Number 1, innovation. For me, it was a pretty clear environment where we can open up new conversations and how to change the status quo of something and get into a different model through the use of technology. The second one was related to opportunities. So I found that through the technology, I can get access to knowledge, I can get access to new people, I can get access to new opportunities, and that was one of the reasons why I love technology so much. The third option was related to variety. If there is an industry that have like 10,000 positions and things that you can do, it's technology. You can start on security, on networking, on server sites, on building networking, cabling, project management, you name it. And potentially, you can do that in the technology arena. So that, for me, was super important around that selection process. And the last one was problem solving. And I have to say that using technology to solve complex problems has been one of the most rewarding things that I have been doing in my life. Because usually, when you try, you're not trying to sell an access point. You are trying to solve a problem for somebody, offer connectivity, offer a customer experience, an end user experience. So that's kind of important. And some years now, I can say that those 4 key values remains exactly the same. Technology enables us to do a bunch of new things, and every year we are thinking about something else that we can renew. Okay? So for me, technology was that process of think that you can accomplish anything you want. And that's a phrase that I use a lot with some of my peers. If you believe that you can do it, you will do it. And if you don't believe that you will do it, you won't. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do going forward. And I want to close. If you have something from my talk today, think on that word, education. We are in a point of the human history that if you want to develop a new skill, you can do that from your house, maybe from your car, but don't do that. It might not be a good idea. But basically, you can get access to get any kind of content, whatever you want, for maybe the lowest price in human history. If you want to get a new data engineering kind of skills, 10 years ago, you need to go to the university, you go to do A, B, C, and D, it's going to be X amount of time, you enroll once per year, and the enrollment already passed. You go online, you go click, subscribe, pay $10, and you get access to any training you want, okay? So keep using education as a vehicle to reinvent yourself. You can become whatever you want based on how much you believe on that, and you set that path. Make sense? So to close, there is a very particular phrase that I found like 2 months ago for another presentation that I believe that is more valid than ever, right? We need to embrace diversity, and having the Latino community today with us is amazing. And I am not saying that everyone has to blend and everyone have to be the same. It's just be respectful of each other and accomplish whatever you want. With that, thank you very much. If you use LinkedIn, there is a new feature on the mobile app that you can click on that icon and you scan the barcode and automatically pop-ups. So if you want to connect, happy to help. I help as a mentor here in Capital Factory for the last 2 years and a half. I work as CTO for a system integrator now in town. I'm trying, it's kind of a joke, so if there is anyone that works at Cisco, please don't take it wrong. I love it. I am trying to rehab after 13 years in corporate world, so how to live out of that bubble. And it has been amazing the last 18 years. So thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the day.
Awesome.